In this video, I'm going to run through some standards and talk about what I'm doing and try to explain the elements of my piano playing. I'm going to try to break it down and show you what I do with my left hand and how I incorporate it with my right hand. And I'm not going to play many fills. I'm going to keep it real simple. So it's just like real easygoing cocktail style piano with a few fills, but not too much. I try to stay away from that. I'm a schooled pianist. I got a real flaming desire to learn how to play jazz when I was in my early 20s, and I couldn't get my hands on enough books and get enough teachers to teach me and share with other musicians that were also learning on that path also. But almost everything that I play I have gained through like reading, studying, working very hard to learn the voicings in every key and learn the scales that go with the voicings in every key. So I'm probably an example of that 90% perspiration, 10% inspiration category. I work very hard for all the techniques that I'm comfortable with today. I've been at it for many years. But the self-taught pianist, I'm in awe of them many times. And often they can't explain what they're doing. But they learn in another way. They learn with their ear, and they have a whole nother method. They haven't gone through this thing of studying all the books and everything. But I had the advantage in that way, I guess, because I played classical music when I was young. I was very serious about my classical music. So I had this whole intellectual process of scholasticism in music and getting everything described down to the last little note, like everything's like a miniature composition. But the talented ear players I've run across, they don't look at it that way at all. They've got a whole nother self-created concept in their head that they play with. And I really sometimes just lean over their shoulder and ask them to slow down or play it again so I can possibly find a way to describe it to myself so I can get out and play the same thing. There's so many ways to make chords. No matter what you read in the books, there's always another way, always lots of other ways. It's astounding what talented creative minds come up with. Okay, here's Misty in E flat. I'll play through it once, then I'll go through and try to explain what I'm doing. Let me tell you what I'm doing with my left hand. I'm using a few different devices here. I'm either playing an open fifth or an open seventh of some kind, whether it be a minor seven or a major seven. And sometimes I play a tenth, and sometimes I play, when I can't make the tenth, I do a third. They're pretty much the same thing, the tenth and the third. I can't make some of those stretches, so I use a third. And the pinky, my little finger, is almost always giving the root. And that's, it's not necessary to do all the time, but it's something I do quite a bit when I'm playing alone. For the most part, I do a lot of different stuff, but I generally am using that, playing a lot of roots. Not every piano player does that, but I do. Other things I do, just to give you the broad concept of what I do, I use some Bill Evans voicings. Those are those typical rootless voicings that are built off the third. Like if I make a, here I'm going to make a B flat minor 7, it's built off the third, going to the 5, so it's 2, 5, 1. And then I'll alter it some way. I might, instead of just going to the 5, I might put a flat 9 into the 5, and then the one chord, whether it be major 7 or 6. Let's take a look at what I'm doing here on this arrangement of Misty. It's an E flat, and I think just about any songbook you pick up is going to have this in E flat. Maybe it's in C in some of them, but you can find it in E flat pretty easily. And I'm staying real inside. I'm not doing anything weird or strange. I'm just giving it my typical cocktail piano style of playing. And I'm intentionally not doing a lot of runs and fills, and I just put it one time down just for demonstration. Okay, I start off with one of those Bill Evans voicings with a nice roll up the piano at B flat, 7, flat 9, 13. It's just a nice intro. Just rolls right up the piano. And then I start the song. Here I've got an open voicing. That's the open 5th in the left hand and the 3 and 7 in the right hand. Just a typical open voicing for E flat major 7. Now here comes my first Bill Evans voicing in the right hand. So I've got, this is a 2 chord, a B flat minor 7, 9, to the 5 chord, which is an E flat 13, flat 9, to the 1 chord, A flat. That's a major 7. I've got 1, 5, 7 here on the left hand. And then the melody comes up. Another Bill Evans voicing, it's an A flat, and I'm building it from the 3rd here on my thumb. Goes to the 5. I'm temporarily in the key of G flat here. So it's a 2, 5 in G flat. Then I go to a 1, 6, 2, 5 back in E flat. Here I've got the open voicing again, the 1, 5 in the left hand, the 7, 3 in the right hand. Here I've gone to another open voicing, 1, 5 in the left hand, 7, 3 in the right hand. Then I'm going to finish it with a 2, 5. Just a regular old 7 chord, F minor 7. Here's a B flat, so it's the 5 chord here, B flat with a flat 9. I'm going to go to the turnaround, which is 3, 6, 2, 5, or it's G minor 7 to C 7 flat 9, and then F minor 7 to B flat 7 flat 9. But I think I do something else there. Let me just take it from the last part of that. I get misty, about a D. Turnaround, I do this somewhere in there. It's a typical move I make. The turnaround, it's a 3, 6, 2, 5. So I'm going to go, I've got a G minor 7 with an open voicing here. If you can't make it, just use the, like sometimes roll like that, or else just at the 3rd. And here I've got this typical device that a lot of pianists use. I'm playing a triad, an A triad over a C7. So it's the 6th of wherever I'm at. So I'm in C, so I count up 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and build a triad, major triad. So I get the 13 flat 9 that way. And then same deal here, down a step, or F minor 7. Then once again, the same deal. I'm in B flat, but I count up 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and build a G triad, giving me a B flat 13 flat 9. Then the song starts over. Everything the same. 2, 5, now I'll go to 1, 6, 2, 5. E flat, C minor 7, F minor 7, B flat 7 with a flat 9, E flat 6. In this case, it's like a Bill Evans voicing in my right hand for E flat 6, and then to A flat minor 6, and back to the E flat 6. So that's the A sections. And the B section goes starts on B flat minor 7, and that's I'm going to use a Bill Evans voicing there, and I go. I've got this in my left hand. This is a B flat chord, so it's rootless, and I'm going to go to. I'm going dropped it to an E flat. So it's its counterpart, the E flat 7 flat 9, and the flat 9, because the melody's in the flat 9, go into the 1 chord. So the 2 chord is a minor 9, B flat minor 9, back to the A flat major 7, everything open here. A flat minor 7, another Bill Evans voicing, to the 5 chord. Now I go to the 2 dominant chord, I'm modulating back to the key of E flat. So it's a Bill Evans voicing here, rootless. It's an F chord here. Then I'm going to have that same turnaround. G. It's a G to a G minor 7 to a C 13. Then F minor 7 to the B flat 13. Then the song repeats one more A section. E flat minor 7. E flat 7 flat 9, da, da, A flat major 7, A flat minor 9 to D flat 13, then 1 6 2 5. And the song ends. D flat 13. I just went down a step for the ending, then back up. When I do that ending, I do this often in my playing. I do this little grace note down, and then I give it a final plink on the E flat.